welcome back to Junk Journal January 2024, day 28. This is Candia with For the Love of Paper and Ink, and I am working on a page that I pre-prepped last night to make it look a little grungy already, because today's prompt is grungy, and I have all these items that I dyed last night so that they would be all dry and ready for me to use today. So I used walnut stain on this bag that was from Chili's that holds their silverware that I thought was a cool bag. So when I took my silverware out of it, I took it with me. Then this printable from Sampool Designs, I had laid the tea bags on to after I had sprayed them, and it got some of the dye, as you can see, in spots on it, and I thought it looked so cool. So I spread some of the dye that had gotten on the paper I was using to spray everything on top of. I spread it on this printable so that just a little bit it would get on top of it, in addition to the spots that got on it from the tea bags that I dyed. So I also have this piece of grungy paper in my stash from a long time ago. I don't know where I got it from. I think it came in a package of stuff I got at the thrift store, but it was all rusted on. And I thought, how cool. And I didn't know what I would use it for. And then I just feel like today was the perfect day for it, to use it with this grungy theme, and it turns out absolutely gorgeous. I just love the way it looks with what I do with it and the goodness that it had on it already. So now I'm going to use a piece of tea dyed or tea bag that's dyed, and I cut it out with my die cut there that you can see to that shape that's like a label shape, and I'm gonna use it on this tag that I'm creating, but I feel like it's lacking a little something, so I decided to stamp with Vintage Photo the background of the tag with this scripty stamp I have, and it just adds a little dimension and a little color in the same tones of what's already there to the background. And then I want to add a flower to this label that I created with the tea bag, but I want it to stand out, so I'm going to stamp it with black soot. And I like the way it turns out with the stamp taking up majority of this label. I looked for a flower that I had that was kind of long and cylindrical. Try and say that word 3 times fast. And then I decide the paper, since I cut it in my trimmer, was a little too smooth on the edges. So I just roughed them up with my scissors. So now I'm going to use my crocodile to hole punch and put an eyelet in to attach some sari silk that I dyed with the walnut stain. I feel like this sari silk is perfectly grungy with the walnut stain. So I just feed it through the loop and tie it in a knot and trim it just a smidge so that it is not too long, and then I rough it up so that it keeps that grunginess, doesn't have a fresh cut on the top of it. Now I'm just fitting the bag on the page. I'm going to put it on the left corner. So I decide I want to dress up the background a little bit with some more of the flower stamps from that same set that I used on the tag. So I just put them around the corners of the page, and then I use some of the black soot and that scripty stamp to get it all tied together. And I just really liked the way it all turned out looking with the scripts and the flowers on the background plus the writing of the book page. Then I feel like the bag is a little too newish looking, so I decide to rough it up a little bit at the edge so that it can have a little bit more of a grungy look, and then I glue it down. And I have this tea-dyed tag that shows a little bit of grunginess, but it has a little bit of whiteness to it too, that I thought would be cute tied to the large tag. And that is what I did for my prompt, the prompt of grungy today. I added my date stamp and it's all done, and I love how it turned out, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for day 29.